Hello, and welcome to A Spoonful of Species, your go-to place for conservation through baking. My name is Caitlin, and each week we will bake a new animal-themed bake and talk about that animal. This week we are baking bat-themed cupcakes and exploring all of the wonderful things about bats. But first, I would like to dispel a myth. Do all bats have rabies? No, not even close. Of all of the bats in all the world, which by the way, there are 1,400 species, only about half of 1%, so 0.05%, maybe even less than that, of bats even have rabies. And the next myth, do all humans get rabies from bats? No, of all of the rabies that humans get in the world, most of them come from feral animals like dogs, not from bats. And finally, do bats want to attack humans? No. Bats are extremely docile in general, and most bat bites happen because someone picked up a bat to maybe try to remove it from a place where the bat had gotten stuck, like a barn or your house. So if this happens to you, the best thing to do is to never ever ever touch a wild animal and just call someone to do that for you. So if you let a bat fly around in your backyard or into a bat house, your chances of getting rabies from the bat is next to zero. Here are the ingredients for a cinnamon roll cupcake. You will need 2/3 cup of butter, 2 eggs, 2 1/2 cup of flour, 2 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1 3/4 cup of sugar, 1 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, and 1 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. First, stir your cinnamon and brown sugar together in a small bowl and set aside. Next, line your cupcake tin with the cups. Stir flour, baking powder, and salt together in a large bowl. Beat your butter on high for about a minute until it's light and fluffy. Gradually add the granulated sugar and beat on medium to high speed until very light and fluffy. Beat in 2 eggs, one at a time, and then add your vanilla. Next, you will alternately add flour and milk until combined. Spoon batter into cupcake tins until they're about a half full, maybe a little less. Then add cinnamon on top of that, and then another layer of batter. Bake at 350 degrees for about 18 to 20 minutes. Feared and misunderstood, bats get a bad rap. Bats are thought of as dangerous and scary animals, but they are truly fascinating and beautiful creatures that deserve our help. There are over 1,400 species of bats worldwide, and bat species all over the world are going extinct or at least are threatened, which would be bad for us because bats eat an incredible amount of insects. A single bat can eat 600 to 1,000 insects an hour, and a colony of bats can eat tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of insects a night. Bats also help spread seeds and pollen, help fertilize our lands, and if they're eating the fruit and then defecating the fruit elsewhere, they'll help spreading new seeds to new locations, which is great for us. For the pumpkin pie filling, you'll need 1 15-ounce can of pumpkin, 1 14-ounce can of condensed milk, 2 eggs, 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of flour, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of allspice, ginger, salt, and nutmeg. You will also need 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and you can add a pinch of pepper or paprika if you'd like. To make the pumpkin pie filling, whisk together all ingredients and pour into a pie pan. Bake at 325 degrees Fahrenheit for 50 to 60 minutes. Bats are very social animals, and mother bats will hug their babies, wrapping their wings around their young. And if that's not the cutest thing you've ever heard, I don't know what is. To make the sugar cookies, you will need 1 cup of butter, 1 cup of sugar, 1 egg, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 3 cups of flour. To make the bat sugar cookies, preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Cream the butter and sugar together, then beat in vanilla and egg. Combine all dry ingredients in a separate bowl, the flour, orange zest, sugar, salt, and baking powder. Then add the dry ingredients to the wet and knead on a floured surface once it becomes crumbly. Roll out to about 1/4 inch thickness and then cut with your cookie cutter and place onto a parchment paper lined sheet where you will bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 6 to 8 minutes. Instead of vanilla, you're welcome to add anise or any other flavor that you would like to flavor your sugar cookie, and make sure you cool the dough before cooking it, which will stop it from spreading. Once everything is baked, you can then start assembly. First, you will core your cupcakes, then add the pumpkin pie filling. Next, you will pipe your buttercream or whatever topping you chose onto the top of your cupcake. Add some sprinkles for effect, and finally, top it with your sugar cookie. And there you have it. So if you want to help bats, you absolutely can, and you should. Bat boxes are a great way to protect bats and help preserve them in your home. Not in your home, but near your home. So bat habitats, or bat boxes, are these wooden structures with little handholds for their feet, where they can kind of group together and sleep during the day. They like being really high up, maybe in a tree or on a post, and they like to be facing certain directions and a certain temperature. So make sure you look up what bat species you have before you build your bat house. Bat habitats, or bat boxes, are extremely important because their natural habitats are being destroyed by humans. Now, I need to live somewhere, so I'm happy that I have a home, but I would want to provide a home for these bats as well. So, if you love bats as much as I do now, go to batcon.org or visit Bat Conservation International to learn so much more about these animals and to find out how you can help in your home or your area, or even how to make a donation. Thank you for watching. This was our bat episode for A Spoonful of Species.